Wilson, and I have another snowflake card for you, but this time we're going to be doing a paved pearl background. You've seen me do paved pearl edges, but you can also use it for a background. It looks quite clever, I think. Gives you that feeling of falling snow on your card. The products we'll be using in today's card include the Peace on Earth clear stamp set for our sentiment. We're also going to be using the Snowflake border corner and tag from the festive collection, as well as the new Lattice Snowflake die set. And one of the other things that I'm going to be using are the self-adhesive pearl strips. Now this is a double strip, but I've only used it as a single strip on here, so it's kind of fun. You can cut them apart and I'll show you that. Okay, so to start out, we're going to cut the border we need from the Snowflake border corner and tag set. And I'm just going to put it onto a piece of coconut white card, a little bit of adhesive tape to hold it in place. And I'm going to run it through with my junior plates. It's an 8-inch border. It fits right on those plates. Let's see. It's cut absolutely beautifully, but I'm going to give it a quick emboss just to bring out some of the detail in it. So I've traded out my cutting plate, put the tan mat on, and the pink embossing plate to do that. There we go. And let's just take this off, get our tape off of here. Save that for later, and I'm going to give it a quick run over with my tool-in-one to take out the major bits. There we go. And just get it started on the end and gently work it back. Just walk it along. It's got quite a bit of detail on here, so you don't want to rip it. Let's go from this side. There we go. Okay, so you can see how gorgeous that die is. Really, really pretty. And it looks like I've got even all the little bits out of it, which is lucky. So let me just tidy up a tiny bit. Put those away. So I'm going to go ahead and put this onto a piece of blue card to really make it pop out, and then we'll trim away the excess bit. So I'm just going to do a little bit of gluing on the back here and get the major spine of that, some of the bigger pieces. Now when you're at home, obviously you can put a little more glue. I'm just doing a very, very quick job here. Catch some of these little fronds. And I'm going to have both of these facing inward. So let me get a hold of that, and we'll just try and line that up as central as we can. Oh, that looks about right. And you can see I'm going to have to trim away a bit of excess to make it the size I want, but that's fine. It still looks nice going off the card like that, so give that a second to set. And find my scissors. Trim this. I like to trim from the back so I can line it up against the edge. There we go. Okay, so now I've got those edges done with my snowflake, and this is where I love to use these pearls. So you've got quite a long strip here, so you just need to measure how much you're going to need. That's the way I like to do that. And then just take your scissors, go right down the center of these, and you can turn them into singles and make them go a little further, which is lovely. There you go. And I'll go ahead and just do one. I've got one prepared earlier, but I'll just show you how easy these are to put on. Just hold them down, pop them down, and then I cut that one a tiny bit too long. Trim away the excess, which you can use for something else if you need to. So you can see what a nice little accent those will make on your finished card, okay? So I've already got one of these I've done ahead of time. However, I want to show you a little bit more, and then we'll come back to it. So what I've done ahead of time is I've cut my Lattice Snowflake, and if you'll notice, this die set comes with an outside cutting edge that's oval with piercing dots, and then it's got another one inside of that. So you can choose to make your oval larger using that one or smaller using this one. So I went ahead and put the wider border on this and cut it, and I used the inside cutting edge to cut the interior of that. So I've got that ready to go. I want to give it a nice little border, so what I'm going to do is use both of these cutting edges again, and let's use some of the tape off of here already. And I'm just going to pop these down into place and get it nice and centered. And I think it's important that you tape them just to make sure that they stay exactly where they're supposed to. And then we'll bring these back over. And I'll cut this one. There we go. You can emboss that as well, it's your choice. So now, take it apart, and I just want this center little frame piece for today's project. So now I can put that on with a little bit of mounting foam right on top of there, okay? So it creates a really pretty little frame for that. I'll set that aside. Okay, so next thing I would do is I would take this one, put my sentiment on it, a little bit of mounting foam, and I would seat this right in the center of here. And I've gone ahead and done one ahead of time to use for our card. But just to show you how I would create the paved pearl background from here. So once that was seated in the middle there, take the Cosmic Shimmer white PVA glue, and I'm just going to make dots. And what you want to do is just start anywhere. And you can do it random. I like to have different sizes, so make some large, some really tiny, and all over the background. Just leave little dots. If you notice, I'm not touching the tip of that. I'm just letting the glue come right off the tip, and it forms into a really beautiful, natural, round dot. So you've got that real pretty look of snow coming there. So just keep working it along until you finish filling it all in. And it's actually very relaxing too. Little ones, you can put bigger ones in there. You can keep them all the same size if you like. And it's up to you how full or how scattered you make that, but it does create a really pretty background. Now, once you've done both sides of that, you'll have to set that aside to dry. And I like to leave it overnight to dry just to be sure, but you'll end up with an absolute beautiful looking background. And it does look like snow, so it's just like snow falling. So I've gone ahead and put some mounting foam on the back of that and created a background using some piercing around the edge with my piercing ruler. And I've tied in that same blue color that I've used on the frame and on the edges under the snowflake border. And we'll seat that right into the middle of that. There we go. And finish off that card. Now, if you wanted to, you could add on some extra snowflakes around that, embellish it any way you like, but I just think that's stunning. And the blue and white is such a pretty, pretty color combination for Christmas. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and you'll look for us again on our YouTube channel.